Christmas. He belongs to Irish country. He is also Nobel Prize winner in 1995. First, what is meant by digging? Digging means it's nothing but like you find this activity usually in fields. Most of the people, they dig the earth for their livelihood. For example, like what? For example, like they cultivate potatoes, rice cultivation, various different types of food items. They cultivate food items. So when they cultivate these things, this is also digging is one type of activity. It is very, very important. Next, Telugulo చెప్పాలంటే తవ్వ. We will dig the earth by using spade. Spade means palu or gunapam antam. Okay. Next, before we begin this poem, here the writer says that he explores the relationship of 3 generations. That is, his grandfather, father, and son. He shows the relation between 3 generations. Moreover, this poem is an autobiographical poem. Here, in this poem, the speaker says that grandfather and father, they are diggers. Whereas the speaker, he chooses writing as his profession. Both grandfather and father, they choose digging as their profession for their livelihood. Moreover, both grandfather, they choose digging in the same manner, father also choose digging. This tradition transforms from one generation to another generation. But here, the speaker breaks the tradition. Of course, he wants to respect, he wants to honor the heritage of the tradition by embracing the values of the elders. He wants to respect, he wants to honor, and he is very much impressed by father and grandfather's ethics, their craftsmanship, their ideas. Here, the speaker, he wants to adopt those ethics, craftsmanship, consistency in his writing in a different manner. Of course, one does not follow footsteps of ancestors and to preserve or honor one's own heritage. Here, the speaker also, though he adopts writing is his profession, he pursues because he insists that writing is one type of activity where the writer can show his intellectuality, craftsmanship, creativity, his talent or his skill through his workmanship. That means he may produce literature, he may produce poetry, or he may produce history. So by that way, he writes poetry by using pen. Here he digs his heart with pen to get a good word while composing poetry or history. He digs his heart with pen. Whereas they dig the earth, both father and grandfather, they dig the earth by using spade for their livelihood. Of course, both father and grandfather, they dig the earth for their livelihood. so much of they have so much of, they have patience, they have so much of understanding, uh, they have so much of patience, they work dedicatedly, they have some principles and ethics, they do much hard work for their livelihood. Of course, they have so much of physical, they have so much of physical patience, physical energy. But here, the speaker says that he who just is intellectuality, imagination, creativity. So here he shows there, there is some little bit difference between his profession and their profession. In that profession, he says that, the speaker says that there is a physical labor in that profession. But whereas in his profession, he uses his mind to produce poetry or something, history or literature, whatever else. He is very much inspired by father and grandfather. He draws inspiration from his parents, from his father or from his grandfather, by their skills, by their craftsmanship, by their hard work, commitment, dedication, whatnot. All these skills he wants to use those skills in his works in a different manner. Next. Moreover, he says that, the speaker says that he wants to write history of his own. His digging can be seen through the root conscious of his life. His digging can be seen because he wants to write history of family history, because he is also part and parcel of his family. So he wants to write family history of his father and grandfather, and he wants to highlight the greatness. Of course, they have not done much thing, but he wants to reflect the family history here. Okay. Now, first, let us begin the poem. Between my finger and my thumb, the square pen thus snug as a gun. Here, poet first he says about pen. He focuses on pen. First, let us know the significance of pen in our life. It is a mundane thing in which we use everybody every day. Everybody will use pen in everybody's walk of life. It is a precious life, it gives precious life, pen. It evolves human's life, evolution of man. This, if you use pen only will be used by literates, not illiterates. Any literate, he can read and write. It shows its ability and sensibility. It shows its ability and nobility. So, you might have heard quotes. Pen is mightier than the sword. With this pen, even in court matters also, the judgments, the punishment is given by way of writing, that is pen. Everyone should obey this. So, pen is always great. It is mightier than the sword. Okay? So, between my finger and thumb, this pen and this magazine. Between his fingers, the speaker, he is so comfortable while holding the pen between his thumb and forefinger to write something, to write poetry or to write literature or to write some history. He is so comfortable. It is as comfortable as a girl when you hold a gun and trigger, simply the bullet goes out and it kills someone. It is just as powerful as a gun. Of course, the gun implies a sense of tension, whereas pen also implies it implies a sense of harmony, a sense of humorous, a sense of pleasure. It also it gives so much of other things. So here the pen is greater than the gun. Next, in second stanza, he tells about the speaker tells about past. Under my window, a clean rasping sound. When the spade sinks into gravel ground, my father digging, I look down. Here in second stanza, he tells about his past. How his father worked while he was in a sitting room. While he was observing through window. Under my window, when he was in a sitting room, he observed through window a clean rasping sound. He heard some sound, rasping sound, while he was using spade to pull the what do you call it, potatoes from the ground. He heard some sounds. When it was cut, usually the sound will. When the spade sinks into gravel ground, when he uses the spade to into the gravel ground to pull the potatoes, my father digging, I looked down. Simply, he observed those activities when his father doing in his he is doing some sort of a potato cultivation. So he tells about his father's past events. Till his training from among the flower beds, very slow comes up 20 years ago, stooping and become through potato fields where he was. In third stanza, he tells about past life. Recollects his past. Recollects his past means he goes to here he explains the flashback how his father works in field. He is training among the flowers, how his father walks on the field among the flower beds, bends to how he bends, stooping, and while doing some field work. He recollects about the 20 years incidents during his when he was a child. He recollects those flashbacks and he explains to the stanza, stooping in rhythm through potato trails where he was living. So while he was bending, he collects all potatoes, grown up potatoes from the ground while digging the earth. Next, the first stanza. The ghost boat drizzled on the left, the shaft existed inside me was level for me. He rooted out thought drops. You read the bright HD to scatter the blue potatoes. The fourth stanza he focuses on. He tells about the image of his father, how he worked in the field. Image. The ghost boat nest in the land. Usually in European countries or in Western countries, whenever they do cultivation, they wear leather boots, long boots. Here, the first boot measured on the love. While he was doing some field work, he keeps his balance. he keeps his balance, and he keeps his knee against the ground while pulling the potatoes from the ground. He rooted up tall tops. He simply he removes, he pulls tall potatoes from the ground, red and bright HD, and he conceals the ungrown potatoes into the ground to scatter the new potatoes rapidly. So he simply he collects all the potatoes, the grown potatoes, he picks. Here in the fourth stanza, he focuses on the image of the Father. In fifth, in loving that good hardness in our hands, by God the old man could handle his weight just like his old man. Moreover, he says that he always feels some sort of coolness when he holds the potato in his palm. He always finds some cold because when you pull the potatoes or any fruit, any items from the ground, you always feel some sort of coldness. Loving that cold hardness in our hands. He always loves that coldness. By God, the old man could handle his weight. He says that how this man could handle the spade by using the spade, how he puts the potatoes from the ground, just like his old man. In next stage, he says that my grandfather cut more tough in a day than any other man from his work. Once I carried my milk in a bottle. Crocus slowly to the back of the straightened up to drink, then fell into right away, taking slicing neatly in swords. Here, now he tells about his grandfather. In previous stanza, he refers to his father, whereas in this stanza, he tells about his grandfather, how his grandfather walked in the field during his childhood days. His grandfather cut more tough in a day. Tough means usually it is alternative to the coal. In Irish country, they don't have natural resources like petrol, kerosene or something else. So in those days, they used tough. Tough means decayed vegetation. Decayed vegetation has been used as a fuel. So his father also dig the earth for tough. Then any other man corners floor. He works like any other man. He works dedicatedly. He works relentlessly throughout the day, from morning to evening, without any disturbances. He pays much attention towards. There you can see his dedication, hard work, love towards his work. These are all our good qualities because the poet speaker acknowledges the ability of his father and grandfather. Here, the speaker tells a small anecdote. Once I carried milk in a bottle, cropped softly with a paper. He straightened up to drink it, then fell it the right way, nicking and slicing neatly into sounds. Here, the writer, speaker says, when during his childhood days, he recollects one incident when he brought a bottle of milk. That is, once I carried him a bottle in a bottle, cropped soaked with pepper. The bottle is covered with the pepper, cropped with pepper. When he gave this milk bottle to his grandfather, he straightened up to drink it. Immediately he drank the whole milk. Then again he involved in the work without taking any rest. Nicking, slicing, neatly heaving swords. His nicking means he is sorting out the tough neatly and slicing. Slicing is slowly he sort out the things tough, which is good for which is good for burning, which is not good for us. He sorted out this slicing, eating, and slicing, eating, and he carries this load. He carries this load over his shoulder, going down and down. After he collects all the salts, sodium wheat, he decayed vegetation for fuel. He carried on his shoulder and simply took this load to his home for the good of digging. He always struggles for good of digging there to find a good because we decayed vegetation. So father, he digs the earth for potatoes. Grandfather, he digs the earth for turf. Turf means nothing but some sort of decayed vegetation which is used as a fuel, alternative to coal. It's just like nothing but like a fuel. Usually in those days, Irish people, they don't have much resources. That is coal, something like that. So instead of coal, they use turf. So his grandfather always struggled a lot. He pays much attention towards his work. He loves his work. So without taking any rest, from morning to evening, he always collects the turf and is simply sort of sneaking and slicing, and he always carries that load over his shoulders to his home. That is how. The good smell of potato mold, the scratch, slap, salty, the cut, cuts on edge, through living moves away in my head, but I have no spirit to follow men like that. In last, but in 8th stanza, these lines refers to the recollection of memories of that particular incidents in him during childhood. The food smell, these memories are so big, lovely, because the food smell of potato mold, the smell and slap of salt, those memories are so vivid and clear. Even till today also, he could see the smell, he could smell of the potatoes. And he also recollects the sounds of those days when his father cut the potatoes. He heard some sounds. So those sounds, those memories are still visible even till today in his mind. So he simply says about his memories in this through living roots awakening my head. Still, even till today also, all those memories are still awakened, still they are alive in his mind. But I have no spirit to follow men like them. He says that he acknowledges his father and grandfather because of their ability, because of their struggle for survival. So both they took that profession, though it is for survival, but they love very much. Here he says that I have no spirit. His speaker says that he has no spirit to follow like them. He has no spirit means he has no spirit to walk like father and grandfather, but he has a pen to dig his to write some poetry or history or literature. Again, last 3 lines, again these lines are repetition of first line between my finger and my thumb and thus I will read. Here, the same lines he repeats again and again. He says that with this pen, he could create history like father and grandfather. Of course, both father and grandfather, they hoped for their survival. They have not done anything great. But here, the speaker says that with this pen, he could write family history. What his father and grandfather done. So he is owing to dig, to write poetry. Moreover, in this poem, I forgot to tell you in the beginning. Inheritance. Usually in our society, we will inherit properties from our forefathers. Grandfather to father, father to son, like this, usually. Moreover, we inherit professions also, family profession. For example, if the grandfather is a trader, simply his son also will continue the trading. And grandson also sometimes will continue the same profession. But here, for example, you take Tata, Birla, how forefathers started their business and how the grandchildren are continuing the same business in day to day. But nowadays, due to advancement of science and technology, no son of a farmer, no son of a farmer is no longer to tie with the land and spade because of advancement of science. You cannot say whether the children will continue the same profession or whether the children will inherit the same profession in future. They may deviate and they will choose as per their wish. So inheritance is also one of the main factors in this point. Moreover, while concluding this poem, he writes his history, he could present through his paper. He has gone gone for good horizon. That's why his digging can be seen through the root consciousness of his poetry. It is his root which always lovely. Because, of course, though it is a digging the earth, but he chose writing. So, he chose, it is his root which appears to be lovely, and the change has come in the nature of digging. Both are similar. They are digging the earth. Here he is digging the heart to find a word, to write good poetry, to write literature, or to write some history. The speaker digs for history, literature, or poetry in which he feels proud. He always feels proud of himself while writing some poetry or while writing, because he shows his intellectuality. He exhibits his creativity, craftsmanship, intellectuality, or talent, or whatnot. So he feels always proud of himself. So that's why he says that it is his root. The king is at the root where he employs that in his profession, that is writing something. He wants to celebrate the root consciousness. Here, the poet wants to celebrate the root consciousness by exploring into the personal history. So that's why he wrote this poem, autobiography. It is an autobiography. Here in this poem, he describes how his father and grandfather dedicatedly worked together, and how this tradition has transferred from one generation to generation, and how this speaker breaks the tradition and he shifts into writing literature or writing poetry instead of digging. There, they use the spade for digging the earth, whereas the writer here uses the pen to write. Though he digs his heart to write poetry or something, so there is a slight difference between these two. So that's why he says that he chooses his history. That's why he wrote this autobiographical poem. He chooses his family history because he is also part and parcel of family. So he highlights father and grandfather's greatness through this poem. And he concludes by saying that he wants to celebrate the root consciousness by exploring its family history. That's why he moves to the poetry or literature or something. Okay, thank you.